Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Steve, can you hear now? Are you all able to hear? Okay, great. Well, Shabbat Shalom, it is not just the last Shabbat of 2021, but also the last day of 2021. And it is wonderful to be with you all. A little disappointing that we have to be at home, but one of the joys of being at home is that I get to have Yuval with me. And it's just wonderful to be back with you all after a couple of weeks away and to bring in the new year with all of you. Our opening song for this evening is one that we sang when Dan Nichols was here. Forgot to put in there that Dan Nichols wrote this melody. And if you see the words, when I keep Shabbat, God watches over me, it is a sign forever between God and me. I figure that since all of you have decided to keep Shabbat this evening, in addition perhaps or as your sole celebration of the new year,
so Sterling, look,
you deserve this to be singing this song. Try that. Candles at home, feel free to get them out so that we can light them together. You ready to light some candles? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. We now bless each other. If you've got any loved ones near you, I invite you to put your arms around them or to send your love and blessings to those who might be far away. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom, shalom, yasem lecha shalom, shalom, v'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom, shalom, yasem lecha shalom, shalom, v'yasem lecha shalom. Do you see the baby? We lift our cups of wine or juice, symbol of joy. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu temislai. V'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron le'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila le'mikra'ei kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'chata v'tanu kidashta min kol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. L'chaim. Do you want to try some? Do you want to try some of the juice? We sing a new song of joy to God, Lechuner Anina. Your spirit and face the entrance to welcome in the Sabbath bride. Back two slides, Tammy. Oive shalom, ateret balagam besimcha, uvet zola tochem unei am segola. שמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך I invite you to rise in body or spirit as we conclude this section of opening psalms and songs and move on to Baruch Hu. And the Shema and its blessings. We continue with Chatzi Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadal shemei Rabbah be'alma divrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchayedecho Beit Yisrael bagala uvizman kariv v'meru amen Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam olal me'al maya yitbarach יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו, לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמיר עד לעמה, ויאמרו Amen. Baruch et Adonai hamevorach, Baruch Adonai mevorach le'olam va'ed. We join together in a prayer for creation. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Again, we join together. Your love, O God, is reflected in our ability to love. Your compassion is reflected in the lives of the compassionate. Our ancestors were such people. Through their vision of you, they learned the laws of life. May we be worthy to learn them too. Your Creator of mercy, open our hearts. Source of compassion, lead us to learning, that learning may lead us to deeds and may lead us to teaching others. May our eyes light up with Torah. May our hearts cling to mitzvot. May our trust in you lead us to gladness and joy. All praise to you, Adonai, who gives the Torah to the people Israel with the blessing of love. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישורך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת. We join together. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Sure.
Ata Adonai haporetz sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam be'ritolam. Ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam be'ritolam. Be'ni uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam be'ritolam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam be'ritolam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat v'inafash, Shabbat v'inafash, Shabbat v'inafash. Ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam be'ritolam. Ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam be'ritolam. As we turn to the Amidah, I invite you to rise in body or spirit. Do you want to play the guitar? Want to come back up? Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehiletecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el v'gadol ha'gibor v'hanora, El Elyon gomel chasadim tovim v'konei hakol, v'zocher chastei avot v'imahot, u'mevi gula livnei v'neihem, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו, משני עפר, מחמוך בם גבורות, ומדם מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, למען אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. Tammy, if you could go up to the blue slide. Keep going. Keep going. There we go. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יעלו חסלה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. You may be seated. When you are finished with your prayers, you may be seated. We take a few moments for our private prayers. A prayer, a poem for a new day. This is New Day's lyric by Amanda Gorman, the first National Youth Poet Laureate. May this be the day we come together. Mourning we come to mend, withered we come to weather, torn we come to tend, battered we come to better. Tethered by this year of yearning, we are learning that though we weren't ready for this, we have been readied by it. Steadily we vow that no matter how we are weighed down, we must also pave a way forward. This hope is our door, our portal. Even if we never get back to normal, someday we can venture beyond it, to leave the known and take the first steps. So let us not return to what was normal, but reach toward what is next. What was cursed we will cure, what was plagued we will prove pure. Where we tend to argue, we will try to agree. Those fortunes we forswore, now the future we foresee. Where we weren't aware, we're now awake. Those moments we missed are now these moments we make. The moments we meet and our hearts, once all together beaten, now all together beat. Come, look up with kindness yet, for even solace can be sourced from sorrow. We remember, not just for the sake of yesterday, but to take on tomorrow. We heed this old spirit in a new day's lyric. In our hearts we hear it. For Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne, be bold, sang time this year, be bold, sang time. For when you honor yesterday, tomorrow you will find. Know what we've fought need not be forgot, nor for none. It defines us, binds us as one. Come over, join this day just begun, for wherever we come together, we will forever overcome. We turn now to prayers for healing, prayers for health, prayers for wholeness. As I offer the names of those for whom we pray for healing that were shared with us online, I invite you also, if there are other names that you have, that you are holding in your hearts, to share them with me, to share them in the chat at this time. On the Shabbat, we think of Pat Fields, Robert Patchen, Jerry Ann Morgan, Lynn Rao, Alex Botkin, Steffi Biersdorf, Alan Wolk, Elchanan Ben Chaya, George Gurneth, Kathy Lowry, Lynn Gazet, Adrian Gochet, Susan Horn, Tom Morton, Dan Swanson, Chuck Mahan, Jason Mulvey, Tony Nardi, Mary Farina, Sam Markand. Nishaberach Avotenu Mekor add to those names Arlene Smith and Karen Becker. Baruch atah Adonai rofeh hacholim. And now a few moments to share joys. Anyone have something something good that has happened in the past week, or something you're looking forward to in the new year?
My daughter is visiting from medical school, and her boyfriend is flying in tonight, and they will drive back to Detroit later. And who knows when I will next see them. Thank you for letting me share this.
Oh. Well, today is my 72nd birthday, and I've survived it, which is always a good thing. Yay!
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
The Kaluras are wearing their matching New Year's Eve tuxedo PJs. Kaluras, where are you? We need to see this. Wonderful. There was someone else in there. Philip Lehman said 2021 is almost behind us. And Susan's youngest is out in LA and has spent the past week working on a Rose Bowl float. Vaccinate the world. Yes, please.
I got to the movies to see Licorice Pizza, and I also went to the museum, Westmoreland Museum of American Art, to see an exhibit by Doris Lee, which was fantastic.
Steve's mom finished her chemo. Wonderful. We celebrate all these with hopes for peace, which are hopefully on the next slide. Hold on, I need that a little bit higher. Bring peace down, bring peace down. Yuval is going to give the drash tonight. Just kidding. Although it might be interesting, I'm not sure what you would learn. This week's Parsha is Va'era, and it's a particularly appropriate Parsha for this time of transition as we move from one year into the next, as we return to this time that we thought we had gotten past, right? Where we are back online. COVID is spreading again like wildfire, and there are wildfires outside of Denver, outside of Boulder. Things have started to come back up during a time that we were hoping we were sort of transitioning out of. And we have this Parsha that talks about the plagues in Egypt. And at first I was thinking about talking about what our contemporary plagues are. There's a really interesting, I think it was a tweet actually by a colleague last spring during Passover, that we have to be careful what we identify as plagues, because we want to be the oppressed rather than the oppressors. And so if the plagues are affecting us, we have to be careful that we are not the pharaohs, right? So I was going to talk about what those plagues might be, and where we are Pharaoh and where we are the oppressed. But this Parsha has one of my favorite lines in it, favorite lines in the whole Torah. And it is actually not spoken by an Israelite, not spoken by one of our ancestors. It is spoken by the Egyptian magicians. What do the Egyptian magicians say? Well, at the beginning of the Parsha, we have 3 plagues. We have, anyone remember what the first plague is? I know, I'm warming you up for Passover. Joe, what was it? Blood. And what's the second plague?
Frogs.
Frogs. And what's the third plague?
Lice.
Yeah, lice. So the first 2 plagues, the plague of blood in the water, and the plague of frogs swarming everywhere, whatever it is that happened, the Egyptian magicians are able to replicate. In this really power struggle between our God Adonai and the Egyptian God headed up by Pharaoh, we're on an equal playing field. Everyone's on an equal playing field for the first 2 plagues. Moses and Aaron are able to make the water turn to blood, and so are the Egyptian magicians. Moses and Aaron are able to bring the frogs up in swarms, and so are the Egyptian magicians. For the third plague, Moses, I always imagine this, if you've ever been in a dusty place and you've ever put something down really hard. So Moses hits his staff into the ground, and the dust flies up and all turns into lice. And the Egyptian magicians try to replicate this just as they have with the previous ones, and they can't. This is the border, the boundary of what they can do. And what they say when Pharaoh insists that he maintains power and that the Israelites should not be sent out, the Egyptian magicians say, "This is the finger of God." So that's one of my favorite lines. This is the finger of God. So why? Why is it one of my favorite lines? I think that one of the things that it really speaks to is that even in darkness, even in chaos, even when we feel like things are not going the way that they are supposed to, things are difficult, there are moments, opportunities when we can find God's presence.
Oh, my picture came.
It is not always easy. It is not always clear. Sometimes we need to experience something really awful before we even notice God's presence. And yet there is always this opportunity for us to say, whether this is the finger of God, as the magicians say, or Achen yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh, God was in this place and I did not know, as Jacob does. There are these opportunities for us to see goodness, to see blessing, to see the presence of God. And so as we reflect on this past year and look forward to the coming one, I invite you, through all of the challenges we have faced, where have you seen God? Where have you experienced blessing? Where have you felt held by your community, whether it was actually in person or through a distance? How has God been present, or has a community been present in your life? What have been those gifts? And so even though this parsha is really all about plagues, all about destruction, even as we are moving into a period where there might yet be more death, might be more tragedy, what are those moments where you can experience God? Shabbat Shalom. I have a few announcements for today. Thank you first to Tammy, who has been struggling through some internet issues, which you'd think after almost 2 years of this, we'd have figured out all of our internet issues, and yet they seem to just get worse. So thank you to Tammy for helping with the slides. Tomorrow morning, our Torah study and informal Shabbat morning service are going to be an hour later than usual. So Torah study will be at 9:30 and the service will be at 10:15. We have our regularly scheduled classes, Parsha on Wednesday at noon and evening meditation on Wednesday at 6. We are welcoming in the new month of Shvat, not just January, but also Shvat. And the Rosh Chodesh group is meeting on Tuesday, January 4th at 7:30. Contact Aya or Aya Betensky or Lynn Lazar if you want more information on that. And we have 2 B'nai Mitzvah coming up this week. Ilan Davies on Thursday at 10:30 and Alexander Lieberman on Shabbat on Saturday at 10:30. We will give you more information as we get it about what is happening for services next week and whether we will be in person or online. So keep an eye out for more information. That being said, for next door, for our religious school program, we have already decided that we are going to be online at least through Martin Luther King Day. The links are all in emails, and if you have any questions about that, you can reach out to me. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to continue now with Aleinu. Did you want some more? Okay, we're going to continue with the Aleinu, and I invite you to rise in body or spirit. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. You may be seated. On this Shabbat, we remember our loved ones who have died at this time in years past. If there is someone that you are remembering on this Shabbat and I say their name, I invite you to rise in body or spirit so that we can acknowledge you as a mourner. On the Shabbat, we remember Doris Arbib, Milton Aronoff, Dave Axelrod Adams, Morris Back, Philip Baskin, Morton Berkowitz, Michael Blackman, William Brodsky, Benjamin Brody, Alvin Buncher, Gino Bussati, Catherine Bussati, Mervyn Cooper, Ruth Dana, Faye Eisenstadt, Ethel S. Fairman, Dorothy Fine, Walter Fink, Louis Gelman, Phyllis Green, Joseph H. Greenberg, Naomi Hafkosh, Regina Horowitz, Edna Mae Cadell, Brian Michael Calla, Joseph Calla, Ethel Z. Kelmanson, Dr. Robert Kaplan, Ruth Byman Kravitz, Lucille Kudrick, Hannah Kushkin, Ruth Lichtlasser, Helen Losky, Rose Lesher, Harry I. Levine, Edith Lichtenberger, Frank Lichtenberger, Lenore Light, Robert Lipman, Charles Lipsitz, Elizabeth Lowy, Alan Marcus, Samuel G. Marcus, Max Middleman, Michael Hollis Mulvey, Taylor William Nathan, Lois Schweitzer Pellet, Judith Pollock, Harry Pretter, Sandra Z. Rosenfeld, Eleanor Roth, Kalman Schoenfeld, Seymour Seltman, Harry Shackman, Lillian Shackman, Mildred Shrinsky, Rose B. Semensky, Dorothy Louise Small, Esther G. Smith, Herman Smith, Marlene D. Hafner Smith, Meyer M. Snyder, Dale Solomon, Marion Spirer, Nathan Tolstoy, Samuel Waters, Francis Wolfson, Ruth Tabor Woods. We also remember Christine Jones and Helene Aronoff and Sylvia Perman. And then our congregation is mourning the recent deaths of Morris Tufton, Joan Wolfson, Howard Shapiro, Victoria Gondelsman, Rosalind Scher, John Kudrick, and Harry Davidson. We also include Beverly Hall. As we think of them, we say Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be a blessing for us now and always. We join together, invite you all to rise in body or spirit, to join our mourners as we join together in reciting the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal, v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divra chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, Ba'gala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'almei amaya, V'yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal Shmei dekudasha brichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chaim Aleinu Vel Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Vel Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. May the one who creates peace on high bring peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, as together we say, Amen. For our concluding song tonight, Tammy, just so you know, I might have you skip to the last verse after this one. We'll see how this goes. Adon olam asher melech b'terem kol yetzir nivra leit nasa v'chefzo kol azai melech shelo nivra ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה והוא אחד ואין שני להמשילו להכבירה ולי ראשית ולי תכלית Velo haos v'hamisra. We're gonna end it there. Shabbat Shalom and Happy New Year. May it be a year of health and blessing and joy and most of all peace, as together we say. Amen.
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 Shabbat Shalom.